Life or death in 15 minutes. That's all it takes for UnitedHealth Group, or UHG, an employee to approve whether you receive medical procedures, medicines, whatever. One person, a decision, a process, a support guide material, and your access to life-saving care hangs in the balance. But how did we get here? And how did a single company gain so much control over the healthcare of millions of Americans? And what does it mean for patients, providers, and the future of pharmacy? And is this a career path maybe that you should consider? Well, with the recent news and the assassination attempt, which we made a video for, we'll put a link to that so you can check that out. Today, we're diving into a critical review of UHG, its rise to power, its influence, and the life-altering decisions that define its role in modern healthcare. So I think this takes us all the way back to 1974, when UHG first started as what it was called back then was Charter Med Incorporated. It was founded by a man named Richard Burke in Minnesota. At the time, they were just processing claims for doctors as a part of the Hennepin, mispronouncing probably, County Medical Society. In 1977, they created United Healthcare Corporation to purchase Charter Med, which is, we're already getting a little sketchy here. But basically, they wanted to build a network-based healthcare plan for seniors. This did turn out to be quite brilliant because just a few years later, in 1984, they went public. But throughout the 90s, this is when things get even more interesting because they make significant moves to buy lots of companies. In 95, they created this huge move to acquire Metra Health companies for $1.6 billion. This is a game changer, as Metra Health was handling a lot of healthcare operations for both the Travelers companies and MetLife, which are two old companies that don't exist anymore, I believe. And in 1998, they reorganized everything to be under UnitedHealth Group name, creating independent companies with under like one umbrella. United Healthcare, Aviations, Uniprise, Specialized Care Services, Ingenex. And it's like they were building their own healthcare ecosystem. As things went on into the 2000s is when they really start flexing their muscles. In 2004, they grabbed Oxford Health Plans. And I think the very next year, Pacificare Health Systems. And in 2008, they bought Sierra Health Services for $2.6 billion. And all these purchases, they're made over time, but we're talking billions of dollars in revenues being made throughout this entire time. In 2012, they tried to make an international play by merging with Emil Parsipetatopoulos. We'll put the name on the screen because I don't know how to say this, which at the time was one of Brazil's biggest health insurance companies. They completed the sale of just the operations, though, in 2024. Today, UHG is headquartered still in Minnetonka, Minnesota, though they're moving to Eden Prairie, which is still in Minnesota. They've got offices in all 50 states and operations in about 33 other countries, serving 80 million people worldwide. The growth keeps coming more and more. In 2023, their revenue hit $370 billion, which that's up from $47 billion the previous year. Their main division, Optum and United Healthcare, are seeing double-digit growths year over year, expanding services and reach. So let's talk about some of the serious challenges that they're facing. In 2024, February, their subsidiary Change Healthcare got hit with a massive ransomware attack. This wasn't just like a small hiccup, okay? If you weren't aware of what was going on, we're talking about the largest health payment platform was just completely down. Some hospitals shut down surgeries, operations, patients were just waiting, okay? What makes this more interesting to me is that United Health Group acquired Change Healthcare in 2022, and the Justice Department tried to block it out of grounds on antitrust. Okay, so if you're not aware, anytime an antitrust suit comes out, one of the strong arguments is that when companies buy each other, quality tends to go down. And this is express example of what the Justice Department tried to prevent. And it now has again opened up a new probe into both antitrust concerns and Medicare overcharging claims of this group. The company is also facing intense scrutiny over their business practices. They've been accused of denying necessary medical procedures and medications, while allegedly squeezing out independent physician practices and pharmacies. The Wall Street Journal reported that they were the worst offender among private insurers for creating fake diagnoses to get larger payments from Medicare Advantage. Just to give you an idea, okay, in 2021, these questionable diagnoses brought in over $8 billion, a potentially fraudulent income. And we're wondering why we're ballooning our healthcare spend as a nation. That's like more than $8 billion, by the way, is more than half of their net income that year. What concerns me as well is that we don't even know the full extent of these claim denials. A 2023 U.S. Senate investigation revealed that UHG's denial rate of post-acute care in just Medicare Advantage plans jumped from 10.9% in 2020 to 22% in 2022. Now, the level of care I don't think has changed all that significantly other than like the pandemic, okay, where people needed to go to emergency rooms. Oh, man. And this also influenced just the care transitioning from hospitals back to homes. What's even more troubling is a report from KFF that found Medicare Advantage insurers increased their denial rates for prior authorizations from 5.4% in 2019 to 7.4% in 2022. These numbers cover just Medicare Advantage plans. We don't even know the denial rates, private plans, because insurers keep those numbers typically hidden because it's kind of like, part of their secret. I want to ask you something. If you've dealt with UHG, UnitedHealth Optum, either as a provider, a patient, what has been your experience with denial claims? I'd love to hear your experience because I'm really curious to know what you're seeing on the front lines. UHG is also battling the Justice Department over another acquisition. The DOJ tried blocking their $3.3 billion deal of Amidicis. I don't know. I don't know how to say it. According to the complaint, the deal would have affected local markets in the hundreds across 23 states and thousands of employees, healthcare providers, nurses, doctors. Then in 2024, another unprecedented thing happened. Well, it's what the video breaks down even further. Brian Thompson, the CEO of UHG Insurance Division, was killed in a shooting outside of New York City. It's a tragic event, but it sparked a massive social discourse about what really is happening and how the people are responding is reflecting what people are struggling with right now and their frustrations with denying insurance claims. I think we've talked a lot about the challenges, but I think it would be nice to know what is it like to work there. So let's shift to maybe some positive things, but also some challenges about what it's like on the inside. Sometimes the best way to understand a company is to hear what the people inside are saying on what things are like on a day-to-day basis. Let me paint an honest picture for you. The reviews are pretty mixed. Overall, it's more positive than negative, but first let's go with the good news. Okay, many pharmacists say that it's definitely better than community retail chains. One long-term employee shares, quote, used to have a great office cohort, shifted to work at home a few years before the pandemic, so we were prepared for the shift in workflow and attitudes, great work-life balance, a standard Monday through Friday 8 to 5 schedule. A lot of our clients reflect this kind of attitude. They really enjoy the remote work culture. They enjoy the support. They enjoy the flexibility of getting work done when you need to. Another pharmacist wrote, being able to work in any of the 50 U.S. states is nice. Interesting line of work, and being more able to apply clinical knowledge as pharmacists and having the support and resources to do our best work. If you look at Glassdoor, which is where we find a lot of these reviews, as well as our own clients, overall, it's a higher score than a 3.5 on a scale out of 5. This is a good sign for healthcare companies, quite honestly. The vast majority of any healthcare organization is lower than a 3.5, around a 3. One pharmacist said, "Great work environment, management are very supportive and approachable. Benefits here are great too." But, and this is a big but, okay, there are some serious challenges you need to be aware of. The biggest issue that keeps coming up over and over again is mandatory overtime. One very direct review warns, no work-life balance, mandatory OT year-round. You will be working 45 to 50 hours per week, every week, all year. Know this and accept it and apply or avoid. Do not believe any statement to the contrary. I thought to put that in because, quite honestly, like our clients who work in Optum or in UHG proper or one of their other subsidiaries haven't told us this after they accepted the position and talk about how great their work-life balance is. So just take every word with a grain of salt. Don't believe everything that you read or hear online. Even from this guy, do your due diligence. Another consistent theme of feedback is the intense focus on metrics. One frustrated pharmacist wrote, "No job security, and they only care about numbers. They will lay you off. They don't care about patients. They only care about numbers." I'm guessing this person probably was laid off. Another pharmacist wrote, "UHG wants to hire robots. Will work you like a robot with unrealistic expectations and will let you go when they no longer need you." So if you're considering working at UHG, you need to weigh these factors carefully. Sure, it could be a total upgrade from a very stressful clinical job, a community role, in terms of schedule, clinical work, having weekends off. But you need to be prepared. Every department is different. Every leader is different. Know what the metrics are like. Understand how they could be driving you to work overtime potentially. It's really about knowing what you're getting into and deciding if that trade-off works for you. Now, let me talk about where I think UHG is heading and what this means for pharmacists and for healthcare workers. Looking ahead into 2025, UHG is making, I think, some big moves. They are expanding, which means more jobs. They're expanding their ACA, Affordable Care Act coverage into 139 counties, not countries, 4 new states. Not only are they doing that, but they're adding in another 119 counties across 13 states that they already operate in. I think this is huge for the job opening potential for you. Their financial projections are ambitious as well. They're expecting to do revenue around $450 to $455 billion in 2025. Who knows after this bad publicity? We'll see what happens. Their cash flow is projected to be around 32 to 33 billion. What does that mean for pharmacists? It's a double-edged sword. I think they are becoming one of the most powerful PBMs in human history. I think they will, under the Trump administration, push for relaxed regulation, even though Trump is very pro decrease of healthcare to the government. So some wiggle room is going to happen here, but I don't know what. But all signs point to their expansion and the growth of the job market. So if you're considering a career with UHG or any of their subsidiaries, which is fun to say quickly, or if you're already working there, staying adaptable to the situation is, I think, the mode right now for everyone. There's opportunities here, definitely, a lot of challenges that are presented, but also recognize that nothing is ever secure. There is no such thing as a shoe-in job, a shoe-in interview, or a never unhappy moment in a career. I think UnitedHealth is ambitious. I don't know where the future lies for them or for any company for that matter. But if you are someone who's wondering, how do I succeed if I join in this company? Let me share some essential tips with you based on real employee experiences. Before applying, be absolutely certain that you can handle the potential overtime, the work hours, but 40 to 50 hours, okay? During the interview, get specific details about metrics, overtime policies, training. Once you're in, document everything. And I mean everything. How much time you're spending, what hours of the day, the metrics, the outcomes, and start building your network immediately. Please, once you get a job, do not stop building your career, because after succeeding here and realizing what you're having to deal with in whatever department you're in, you're not done. Stagnation is career death. And by growing and getting better and learning new skills, you become ever indispensable no matter where you go. If you're applying to UHG or any company really, applications kind of stink, don't they? It's easy to get confused. It's easy to forget who you've applied to. So I want to share something with you that will help. I created a simple tracking sheet that our clients use, and it helps manage their application process, organizing, and it's great for keeping track of different positions, where you're at, following up, interview schedules, and even thanking people. If you'd like to grab this free tracker, check out it in the link below. This has been our deep dive into UnitedHealth Group. If you're thinking about applying or just wanting more information about the company, I hope this gave you a better, clearer career picture. If you have a question, feel free to drop it below. I try to answer questions that come in. And if you want us to cover something different, a new career or a company, I'd love to hear that as well. So until I see you in the next video, stay curious and take care.